Alrighty everyone, so obviously due to the new requirements from the New Zealand government, we are now needing to reduce, reuse and recycle a lot of our essential products. Obviously it's due to a national shortage. A lot of these products obviously include toilet paper, tissue paper, handy wipes and of course hand sanitizer. I'll start off with the hand sanitizer. This is quite hard to, reuse and recycle, obviously. It kind of just goes in your hands and then it goes into your skin, but you can actually replace it with ethanol alcohol. There's ways of getting hand sanitizer through ethanol alcohol. I'm not too sure how to do that myself, but obviously you can look that one up. Obviously, if you're running out of handy wipes here and you want to wipe your benches down and that, there is another method that you can use. What you do is you get a piece of tissue paper here. You obviously get a little bit of your hand sanitizer and you splash it on there like that. I think it's about enough. You just give it a bit of a, like a mush up on the tissue there. And obviously you can quite easily, wipe your surfaces down, like your benches and things like that. So that's a really good way to reuse if you run out of handy wipes and things like that. You can clean your benches and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things I really want to focus on today was obviously this is a big thing, for a lot of us Kiwis, and I would imagine the rest of the world will follow suit if there continues to be even a worldwide shortage. Obviously, one of the biggest products that we are demanding currently is toilet paper or loo paper. Now, it does become problematic with hygiene and things like that when it comes to reusing and recycling, obviously, toilet paper. What I've done this morning is I've come up with a really simple and easy method using simple household items to be able to reuse toilet paper as safely as possible. First of all, what I'm going to do is take a slice of toilet paper. So obviously you would do this before you enter the toilet. You would take, a line of, you'd probably do a couple of lines, probably, before you go to the toilet. So you do about 2 there. And then what I'm going to do is just take standard insulation tape. This is black insulation tape. And what you can actually do with this, you can put this as sort of like a backer. So you're only really going to use one side of the toilet paper. If I can get this on properly. I'm just going to cut it on the end there. Actually, I'll swap that around so you guys can see that a bit better. So I'm just placing the insulation tape on the back of the toilet paper. Try and cover as much as you possibly can. Otherwise, this method won't work so well. Alrighty, so here's our new example. This is what we had. We had a single line of toilet tissue, and now we have a single line of toilet paper, but with insulation tape on the back of it. So now we're going to get down to how this whole thing works. As a substitute for fecal matter, I will be using Nutella, as most people do. I'm just going to get a splurge of Nutella, and I'm just going to place it onto the loo paper so you guys know. Just like buttering a piece of bread, really. So now we have our contaminated loo paper with, of course, insulation tape still on the back here. This bucket here is going to represent sort of like our toilet bowl. Obviously, you can use a bucket if you wish to. You could sit it next to your toilet or something like that. We have a bit of water in here, as an example, obviously, of the toilet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our loo paper with our insulation tape on the back, and we're going to just drop it in the toilet. Okay, so you've done the deed and you've dropped your loo paper into the toilet or bucket, whatever you choose. So the few simple things we're going to do is we're just going to take ethanol alcohol here. We're going to crack that open. You just pour a bit of that in there like so. What that does, it basically helps break down the fecal matter and, sort of lifts it off the loo paper. The next thing we have here is baking soda. So all you naturalists, you'll like this one. You put a bit of baking soda in there as well, and that just helps to, loosen up the fecal matter even more. Put a decent, generous amount in there, because you probably have a few bits of loo paper in there. You can also put a bit of hand sanitizer in there, you know. That also contributes to breaking up the fecal matter in there. Obviously, if you don't have any hand sanitizer or alcohol, you can just get a couple of wet wipes, you know. I'll just get a couple out here. This also has alcohol in them, you know, especially the Dettol hand wipes. You just chuck a few hand wipes in there, you know, give it a bit of a slosh around there. Obviously you wouldn't use your hand, you'd probably want to use a toilet brush or something like that, or a stick. Give it time to allow to lift that fecal matter off your toilet paper. So I'm probably going to give this about 5 minutes. I'm going to let it, you know, sort of dissolve that fecal matter and get it lifted off the loo paper, and I'll come back and I'll show you the results. Alright, and we're back here. Let's check and see how our loo paper went. Look at this. Completely clean. There's absolutely no fecal matter, as you would call it, or in this case Nutella, on this loo paper. And that piece of loo paper looks pretty good, you know, like there's no real peeling, you know, this is the point of the insulation tape. It keeps the loo paper together. Obviously it's going to be only one-sided toilet paper, but it's reusable toilet paper, people, and this is something that people have been trying to figure out for a long time. Basically, we just give it a shake off like so, and then we're going to get to the drying process. So now we're at the drying process. I've got 3 examples here now. We're just going to let nature do its thing. I've found a nice sunny spot where these pieces of paper can dry out. I'll probably give it about a day to dry, and then you can come back and reuse your loo paper. I'll tell you what, I'll show you a piece that I dried out earlier. Alrighty then, I've picked one of the better examples that I managed to get from drying this morning. As you can see here, no fecal matter at all. There's no real water damage, probably a little bit, but it's fairly ready to be reused once again. Obviously New Zealanders must comply with these new restrictions as of midnight last night. So it's about, you know, uniting as one and figuring out solutions to these obvious problems. Obviously I have a small following here on YouTube, and a lot of that following is in my Discord server. So for you guys, I'm going to put a Discord channel in there. Basically in that channel you put through your inventive ideas. You know, we can get quite creative and think of solutions to help the general public to get through these tough times. Look, I really hope this tutorial helps you guys out, especially you Kiwis out there. You know, with our government's new restrictions, it's pretty rough, and you know, figuring out solutions can be rough as well. There's no doubt there'll be more tutorials popping up on YouTube to help the fellow Kiwis out, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I said before, if the rest of the world starts following suit if they have a nationwide shortage. Without further ado, this has been Mr. Omega. Thanks for tuning in, and kia kaha, New Zealand.